you Willikers here, and welcome back to the Holy Land. The path to God is often quieter than we expect. As I walk through these ancient olive trees toward Duc in Altum, there is no hurry. The branches sway gently in the Galilee breeze, their silvery leaves catching the morning light just as they have for countless generations. It is easy to imagine travelers walking these same hills in the days of Jesus, never realizing that the Son of God himself had walked among them. The name Duc in Altum is Latin for put out into the deep. Those were the words Jesus spoke to Simon Peter before the miraculous catch of fish. Peter had spent an entire night catching nothing. Yet, at Christ's command, he lowered his nets one more time, and everything changed. Perhaps every pilgrimage begins the same way. We take one step, then another, trusting that God is leading us somewhere deeper than we can yet see. Soon the spiritual center comes into view, standing peacefully beside the remarkable archaeological remains of ancient Magdala. This was the hometown of Mary Magdalene, one of the most devoted followers of Jesus. The Gospels tell us that Christ delivered her from 7 demons. From that moment forward, she remained faithful to him through his ministry, stood near the cross when many others fled, and became the first person to witness the risen Lord on Easter morning. How remarkable that the first announcement of the resurrection was entrusted to someone whose own life had been first transformed by his mercy. Magdala itself has yielded extraordinary discoveries in recent years. Archaeologists have uncovered streets, homes, marketplaces, ritual baths, and even a first-century synagogue that almost certainly stood during the lifetime of Jesus. As these ancient stones have emerged from the earth, they remind us that the events of the gospel unfolded in real places, among real people, under the same skies we see today. Stepping inside the Duc in Altum, the atmosphere changes immediately. The sanctuary is filled with quiet reverence. At its center rests an altar unlike any other, a great boat resting upon the floor, its graceful lines recalling the fishing vessels that once crossed the Sea of Galilee only a short distance from here. The image is deeply fitting. Many of Jesus' first disciples were fishermen. Their boats became classrooms. Their nets became lessons in faith. Their storms became opportunities to discover that even the wind and the waves obeyed their master. For Christians throughout the centuries, the boat has also been a symbol of the church itself. It carries believers across uncertain waters. Storms still come, winds still rise, but Christ remains present in the boat. Around me, pilgrims have gathered from many nations. Some kneel quietly, others bow their heads in silent prayer. Then voices begin to rise together in song. Though their languages may differ, their worship is one. For a few moments, nationalities disappear, age disappears. Even time itself seems to fade away. This feels something like the early church must have felt, a gathering of ordinary people who have simply answered Christ's invitation to follow him. Eventually, I descend the staircase into the lower chapel. The light grows softer, the silence becomes even deeper. Here, one's attention is immediately drawn to a magnificent painting portraying one of the most moving encounters in the Gospels. A woman, weakened after 12 long years of suffering, quietly reaches through the crowd. She asks for nothing. She speaks no word. She simply stretches out her hand and touches the hem of Jesus' garment. Immediately, she is healed. Jesus stops. Turning toward her, Jesus says words that have comforted believers ever since. "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace." Christian tradition has long associated this miracle with Magdala and this region of Galilee, making this chapel a particularly meaningful place of prayer. Looking upon this image, I cannot help wondering how many people arrive here carrying burdens that no one else can see. Some come seeking healing of the body. Others seek peace after grief. Some carry unanswered questions. Others simply long to feel closer to God. Perhaps we are all a little like that woman. We come with empty hands. We come quietly. We come in hope. And Christ still invites us to reach toward him. As I leave Duc in Altum and step once more into the Galilee sunlight, I realize that the deepest miracles are not always the ones our eyes can see. Sometimes the greatest miracle is a heart that has learned to trust. Sometimes all it takes is one small step, one quiet prayer, one simple touch of faith. Perhaps that is what this holy place has been inviting us to discover all along.